Chaver Bezrat Hashem, the covered the Heilige Shabbos, the covered Purim, 61 days until Purim, 2 days until Shabbos, L'chu Neranana, we're wearing the white, Baruch Hashem, and let's fire it up. The covered Shabbos, B'Shem Kol Yisrael. Let's feel up before Pesach, Reuven ben Yosef Azar Baruch Bas Yehudis, Yonah Bas Bas, Ashir Bas Basia, Sayan Reuven ben Mani, Tova Bas Peril, Lui Nishmat, Yehudi Baruch Bas Nechemia, Meir and Hashem Havan Aliyah. Hashem our God and God of our fathers, God of compassion, help us fulfill your purpose and attain the good you want to give us. Let us serve you at all times, generally and wholeheartedly. Let us turn away from all evil and always do what is good in your eyes, so as to come to our true destiny. In every action we take in this world and everything we become involved in, and let our only purpose be to attain the ultimate good, so that eventually this action or involvement will lead us to our true destiny. Don't let us do anything, say anything, or become involved in anything that is not bound up with attaining this ultimate purpose. Let us fulfill the verse, know him in all your ways, bechol derech, and he will strain your paths. Let all of our actions be for the sake of heaven. Bezrat Hashem. Chaver, the covered Shabbos, what a tefillah. Of Nasan of Nimerov, Nasan Breslov. Woo! Okay, halakha l'maisa. All people, both men and women, are obligated to hear the reading of the Megillah. Purim by night and by day. Therefore, even unmarried girls should go to the synagogue to hear Megillah. If they do not go, the Megillah must be read for them at home. We are obligated to educate the children as well to hear the Megillah reading. Nevertheless, very small children should not be brought to the synagogue because they disturb the concentration of those listening to the Megillah. Halakha l'maisa. Chabra. Chapter 2, Mishnah 7. In Pirkei Avot, this is a fire one. We'll get right into it. Hillel used to say, the more flesh, the more worms. The more possessions, the more worry. The more wives, the more sorcery. The more maidservants, the more promiscuity. The more men servants, the more theft. The more Torah, the more life. The more sitting in the house of study, the more wisdom. The more advice, the more understanding. The more charity, the more peace. He who acquires a good name acquires it for himself. He who acquires words of Torah acquires for himself life in the world to come. What a fiery, fiery Mishnah. And we should listen to it again, learn it again. Unbelievable. So we'll just get right into it. So there's 3 Torahs that we just want to bring, to help nail home this idea from Hillel, the great Hillel, our sage, the Tzaddik Yisod Olam. So Rav Nachman Shpiban, a student of Rav Nassan, once bought an expensive new coat. When Rav Nassan saw him wearing it, he said, Rav Nachman, you can't afford that coat. Why not? Asked Rav Nachman. Think of that closet you're going to put that coat in, Rav Nassan explained. It is old and shabby. You're going to have to buy a new closet. But when the new closet won't fit in the rest of your furniture, and you'll have to refurnish your house, but then you'll have to buy a new house to have a place for all the furniture. And concluded Rav Nassan, you certainly can't afford a new house. Unbelievable. Chavra, what should we call it? The more flesh, the more worms. The more possessions, the more worry. All this stuff adds up. We think we're buying eggs. I was laughing at this idea, this thought that I had before. We think we're buying eggs at the supermarket, but then the eggs turn into onions, they turn into shakshuka, they turn into peppers, they turn into bread, they turn into orange juice, they turn into coffee, a whole zach. So we're not just going into buying the 10 shekel eggs, but really we're coming out with 100 shekel worth of food and a whole meal. Not saying that shakshuka is bad, but sort of like the horrible example, Jack. Whoa, what are we thinking here? But shakshuka, Gaval. There's a lesson. I was trying to find this lesson in Likutei Moharan, where it speaks about starting off our day with thinking about the world to come, right? And that should be like the first thought, and mamish help us have that mindset of eternity, have that mindset of oneness when we're starting our day and really firing it up. But couldn't find it. I have the English Likutei Moharan, Hebrew English Likutei Moharan, lessons 109 through 194. If any of you know which lesson it is, please. I was flipping for like 10 minutes, but came across this fire Likutei Moharan in 157. Likutei Moharan 157, very short piece, but very profound. Rav Nachman starts out by saying, if a person would cleave to the words of Torah that emerge from the tzaddik's lips, I wonder how he could afterwards bear and desire life in this world, right? It's amazing, this Mishnah that we're just going over, flipping back to it, right? We started off with the possessions in this world. We're talking about worldly matters, but then we transition to the more Torah, the more life, right? He who acquires words of Torah acquires for himself life in the world to come. I think the hint is that once we benefit from these words of Torah, we bind ourselves to the words of Torah, we cleave to the tzaddikim. And mamish, now I'm okay. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Right? We're able to experience the world to come in Olam Hazeh. Right, and it says here in the footnote. And there's more to this. There's more to the piece, right? So, if a person would cleave to the words of Torah that emerge from the tzaddik's lips, I wonder how he could afterwards bear and desire life in this world. Like, how can we go to 7-Eleven after a fire shear from Moshe Weinberger, right? We're to elevate the 7-Eleven, but mamish, like we just want to sit there in awe, just be like, oh my gosh, ask ourselves a million questions and want to. So this is the meaning of Pirkei Avot, which we'll get to B'ezrat Hashem in months, right? In chapter 4, Mishnah 5, whoever benefits from the words of Torah moves his life from this world. Understand this well. Says the footnote in the Likutei Moharan. The simple explanation of the Mishnah in Avot refers to one who derives personal gain from the Torah. Example, money, honor. These benefits are subtracted from the reward he is to enjoy in his life in the world to come. Says Rashi and Rabbeinu Yonah. In the context of our lesson, the Mishnah reads as follows: whoever benefits from the words of Torah, he has such great pleasure and enjoyment from the teachings heard from the tzaddik's lips that it removes his life in this world. Right? So the benefit from the Torah itself is the reward. He no longer desires life in this world. Rather, his benefit is the enjoyment from the words of Torah, the reward of the world to come. Shizachinu, Chevra, we should merit this Hana'ah from Torah, the sweetness of Torah, make it sweet for us again, like the letters from this. I forget the words, but mamash, we should taste the honey in the Torah. We're mamash experiencing Olam Haba and Olam Hazeh, right? And those external, never mind. Anyways, just one more story now that we're here. Just to. Why not? Just saw this amazing story that has to do with the Baal Tanya. A wealthy chassid lost all of his wealth and went to pour out his heart to the teacher, Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the Baal Tanya. He needed money to pay debts. He had to pay his children's teachers for their instruction. He had to make a wedding for his daughter. He had to develop his business back to the level it has been, etc., etc., etc. All my needs, Rabbi. Rabbi Shneur Zalman looked straight into the eyes of the chassid. Imagine that stare. You have enumerated in great detail what your needs are, but it is amazing to me that you do not ask yourself, even for a second, what is it that you need to find yourself? Your mission in life! Suddenly the chassid's eyes filled with tears. Never again did he have cause to ask for anything. Chevra, we have to bind ourselves to eternity in the present moment. How are we affecting our future? How are we affecting our now? How are we affecting our children? How are we affecting our grandchildren? It's unbelievable. And B'ezrat Hashem, we should constantly ask ourselves the purpose in life. We should constantly evolve, continue to develop more and more and more. The more advice we seek, the more Torah we learn, the more Gemilut Chassidim we do, and so on and so forth. B'ezrat Hashem, Chavra, continue to be great. L'kavod Shabbos Kodesh, l'chulin and fire it up.